Gotta get some things on my chest, gotta address a couple things. I think it's the right thing to do. So this is what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna tell you guys one thing. You just be ready. You be ready when the time's right. You be ready. That's all I gotta say.
What is that? Be ready for what?
Evidence of fraud and mismanagement of funds and embezzlement.
I gotta say, he had me fooled. He really did.
They're in a hole. You're talking about cards, probably upwards of $500,000, I think, is what's sitting there, or might even be $1 million US. It's just crazy, right?
A group sub called Marx Cards, who has about $1 million in subs, send off to PSA, and long story short, they can't pay the bill.
A lot of people are calling Marx Cards a scammer.
So what did really happen with Marx Cards? Apparently, Marx Cards is a well-known authorized PSA group submitter in the trading card industry. What this means is Mike, the owner of Marx Cards, would have his customers submit their cards for grading to him, where he would then group them up in bulk and submit them to PSA himself in order to get a better price. Now, this is all common in the trading card industry and most industries if you think about it. Think about it as if you were to buy paper towels. If you buy one roll of paper towel, maybe you'd expect to pay $3 for one roll. But if you were to buy a mega pack of 18 rolls of paper towels, you could maybe expect to pay $2 per roll due to the fact that you were buying them in bulk. The same goes for PSA grading submissions. The more cards you submit, the better price you'll receive. On a bigger scale, some small card shops were also using Marx Cards to group submit their cards as well. For instance, Ryan from Card Collector 2 was also using this method of submission. In an Instagram post made by Ryan, he states this.
Back in August of 2020, I got connected through a mutual friend to Marx Cards. Got connected through a mutual friend out there. And the idea originally was, I had no direct relationship at the time with PSA. Nothing, probably from things, when I was younger, Ryan being outspoken, didn't have any relationship then. So got connected and submitted, it became possible to submit cards to PSA directly through them. A couple of reasons initially stood out. Obviously, right, you guys can probably see a lot of these things. A lot of them are more obvious than others, such as, first thing is obviously price, right? It is what it is. It's a price thing, right? Trying to run a competitive business. So we're trying to work together as a team originally to submit more cards, lower price, right? It's a business. Other one was location, right? I'm on the other side of the world, the other side of the country. So to be able to drop cards off at the front door was nice. But additionally, I'd kind of heard rumors circulating that, didn't know at the time if they were true or not true, that if you submitted cards to PSA through the front door, that it would save the shipping time and would allow you to get things back quicker, right? So to be able to be competitive in terms of turnaround time, while in Ohio was an important thing for us, right? Anytime you can gain a competitive advantage, that's certainly something we were looking for. So that was definitely intriguing.
While Ryan was just trying to get his customers better pricing and faster shipping, he would accept cards from his customers, bulk them up, pay out of his pocket for grading, then send them to Marx Cards. Marx Cards would in turn do the actual submission. Ryan and many others stated that Mike, the owner, claimed since he was located so close to the PSA warehouse, he could drop them off at the front door of PSA to save shipping time. Now, I do not know Mike personally, and I have never spoke with him before, but from what I've heard online is that some people did actually have a flawless transaction when sending their cards to him, and had received their cards back without issue. But at some point, this took a turn. Over the last week, it has came out that Marx Cards now has roughly $1 million of debt with PSA, and that Marx Cards is unable to pay for the grading fees for tens of thousands of cards. How can this be? Card Collector 2 stated that he paid for all of his customers' grading fees up front. So somewhere along the line, Marx Cards was accepting people's money and cards for grading, submitting them, and when the bill was printed, did not have the funds to pay for them. Where did this money go? So no one is truly sure of it, but we do know in fact that during this time, Marx Cards had opened a new facility in California. Now, we can't for sure say this is where the submission money went, but it is something to be known. As of right now, Marx Cards has filed for bankruptcy and closed its doors to their facilities and business. So what happens to all the people who submitted the cards and money? At the moment, we are unsure, but in Cards Collector 2's case, we do know, as stated in his Instagram post, that he's flown to California to meet with PSA himself, then forked up another $120,000 to get his customers' cards released from PSA. Now, he has also stated that he's already paid the $120,000 up front and is now having to pay twice in order to protect his word, brand, and integrity. With him being backed into a corner, there wasn't many other options. He is now in possession of all of his customers' cards and has returned them all graded. He states that he worked out a promissory note / contract with Marx Cards to be paid back the $120,000 in 2022. But you tell me, do you think he's getting his money back? Who knows? Well, Ryan was able to bail himself out. What happens to all of the other shops and customers who don't have the money to pay for their cards a second time? It's honestly just a yucky situation for all parties involved. Marx Cards, PSA, and all customers involved. But it does sound like PSA is working to release all cards back to their original owners. It is unknown if they'll be graded or not as of now, but here's the official statement from PSA regarding the situation. So the statement from PSA states, "This is an unfortunate incident that our top priority is protecting the collectors who may have been impacted by the bankruptcy of Marx Cards. We're currently requesting detailed account from information from Marx Cards for the impacted orders still at PSA, with the expressed goal of returning the cards to the rightful owners as soon as possible. We will not be charging customers for the return of their cards other than shipping. As of yet, we have not received payment from Marx Cards to grade the cards in our possession, and as a result of this incident, we will be making changes to our group submitter requirements, including a new order upfront deposit and more robust policies around late payments. We will also be requiring all group members to bring their accounts current in order to continue the service with us. We ask for patience while we sort through this expensive and labor-intensive process, with the end goal being return the cards to the rightful owners. If you have submitted cards to Marx Cards that you believed to be at PSA, please email with Marx Cards in the subject line." So it sounds like PSA is getting the cards back to the rightful owners, but it does also sound like they're not sending back the cards graded, which sucks because it sounds like a lot of people already paid for that grading fee, and who knows what Mark did with that money. So there's that. Wrapping things up, let's hear what Mike, owner of Marx Cards, had to say for himself.
Yeah, and I don't know Mike. We're going to call him here in just a minute because I would love to try to get, because we have the capability now, right? We can call him from the, and it'll just come through on the audio.
Yeah, you can do it right now.
Yeah, call him. I just want to talk to him for just a second and just see. I cannot imagine he's taking a call.
We'll let him know right off the bat that it's a...
I was telling him you're live. You're being recorded on a podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably will answer.
Hello?
Hi, is this Mike?
Yeah, this is he.
Hey, Mike. My name is Mike Giuseppe. We're recording a podcast on the Ringer Podcast Network. Wonder if you had a minute for us.
Hey, what's going on?
Well,
I think I might have heard that you said I wouldn't answer.
I said there's no. Yeah, I got your number from my buddy Tim over at Slabstrong. I said there's no chance this guy answers, but.
Well, again, so the story going around is that I'm not answering. So there you go. You have your story.
False information. There you go. I'm already spreading it. I'm sorry.
You already have the information that say, hey, we can't get a hold of this guy. I think, how many rings did it take? And I don't even know your number.
Pretty good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm impressed. I am curious. I mean, obviously there's a lot of, well, you know how this goes, Mike, right? There's everything's speculation. Everybody's telling stories secondhand. Of course, Ryan just went live with his version. I'm just curious. Could you care to shed any light on what's actually going on from the source's mouth?
I'm going to tell you guys one thing. You just be ready. You be ready when the time's right. You be ready. That's all I got to say.
What is that? Be ready for what?
Yeah, well, when the time is right, I'll be okay to say the story of what's been going on this side. But we're in a fluid situation right now, so we're still working directly with PSA.
With PSA.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So obviously I'm sure there's some details you can't then. I mean, in terms of people who have their cards at PSA right now, I mean, a PSA working with you to get the cards back, or PSA saying you're still...
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And matter of fact, I'm packaging and shipping as we speak.
So the bill got paid then? I mean, is this a whole non-story?
No, again, it's the way it's misconstrued. It's not the way it works. Everybody assumes their cards are ready. And when the cards are ready, that's when the bills do.
Yeah, I understand.
People assume their cards are ready. They don't really think that there's cards sitting there that have been out for a year and they're not ready.
So, Mike, just to clarify, this is Jesse. I co-host with Mike here. The overall issue that I think is coming up is that people are saying the cards that are ready aren't being able to be paid for with the funds that were already paid for them. They paid up front. And now they're saying
those are details right there. Like I said, that will come out. So when people assume that everybody paid for orders, that is not true.
No, not everyone, Mike. But like Ryan just went live and said he paid us $120 up front. I mean, I'm assuming that's accurate, correct?
Well, that's a whole nother story of how that went about it. And I'm sure the industry wouldn't be happy of how that went about. So again, we'll save that for another time.
When you say another time, are you planning on doing some kind of live?
No, I just know that right now that we have litigation involved. That's all. And I'm just trying to be as respectful as possible and know that I've been, since we started, always voicing, and it's the toughest thing is not to voice right now, except just to work. So like that's what we're doing right now. You know, we're just literally getting submissions that we picked up, getting out, sending grades out, getting cards out. And it's going a little.
Yeah,
going a little slower right now because it's a one-man show. So that's the thing. So let's set something up. I'd be more than happy. I'd be way more than happy to speak on it. I know right now it's just to put your head down and get to work. And
okay, I mean, Mike, that's fair. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the call. I mean, if you look around, we don't know each other. I'm sure you can find our reputation and our reach pretty easily. We have a pretty big name in it. You're more than welcome to come back on at some point.
I'd love
share
to.
your side of the story. So
I would absolutely love to. It's not a shot down. I'd love to get.
Sure.
It's just being in a respectful way of saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, just not at this time." You know what I mean? We just can't.
So, and just to be clear, Mike, before we jump off here, is there anything you want to refute at all, like to clear your name, to make it known that maybe there's some things out there that shouldn't be known?
I guess the big thing is people say they're not able to. That I ran off with the cards and the cash, and yet you can call me and I'm right here. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what we heard. Is hey, orders.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here, and my whole goal from day one is to get cards back to the customers, and we've done a huge amount. I mean, in the millions and millions of dollars of cards we've done. So we're not here to take stuff. We're here to get the stuff back to the people.
So as of right now, business as usual is nothing out of the ordinary for you. It sounds like.
Well, we can't. We're not doing any shop right now because the overhead. We don't have the overhead to manage a shop. So it's either our focus is let's get all these packages that we do have on hand in and out, working with PSA and getting packages in and out. And then, we'll go from there.
And let me ask you another quick question. Do you happen to know Kevin, the CEO over at Gentleman?
Kevin Laney, I do.
Yeah. So he said too, like there'll be no more submissions for you guys. Has that been conveyed to you, or is that just him talking out of, tongue in cheek? Or
we're not going to drop off any more submissions anyway.
Do you owe PSA money right now though? I mean,
again, those are details that we'll share out of later, and we'll get all the details. I promise.
Yeah, it's a pretty important detail. I think you'd agree, though, right?
No, again, there's a lot of things that everybody would like to know, and I'm more than happy to share it. Again, I've been even with PSA. I've opened up our books to PSA, so they know what's going on. So.
Mike,
we are like I said. I appreciate the call, and it's a time that we're working through tirelessly, and it hurts our heart. I can tell you that it's not easy.
All right, well there you go. That was Mike Marks with Marx Cards. Appreciate you taking the call, Mike. Thank you.
So it sounds like there's still a lot to come out within the next upcoming months, and this doesn't sound like the end of the story anytime soon. As of now, all we have is what is officially released from the parties involved. My questions are, where did the money go? If the money was stolen, what criminal charges will Mike face? And lastly, what will Marx Cards do next? Let us know in the comments what you think about this whole situation, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you next time on Sega Sports Cards.